Okay, so this is going to be a little video on how to do your own dubstep snare, clap, snap sounds, okay, that you'd be putting on your third bar or beat, kick, then the snare. In this case, generally, you're going to want to take the usual dance music method. Well, that's not necessarily true, because not all dance music needs something that punches through quite like dubstep needs, because generally in dance music you would already have like a kick underneath your snare, so you wouldn't necessarily need to fill out the sound quite like you do with the dubstep, where you're literally having one drum hit or sound play at any given time usually. Okay, in this case I've got a clap, a snare drum, and a crash cymbal. But I've taken the crash and I've made it so that all it plays is just a little bit off the end. So you get some air. And then the snare is a nice punchy snare. And then your clap. Basic clap. Okay. So, layered together, you're already going to get a nice, punchy sound. Okay. Nice and punchy, cracks through pretty good, but obviously you're going to want to tweak it a little bit. So, I've got this 31 band EQ on here, and on my master I've placed an analyzer so I can kind of see where everything's hitting. So we'll start with the clap, which has a lot of high end, but it seems to be hitting mostly between the 500 and about 2.5K, where most of it's hitting. Okay, so let me take a look at the hi-hat, or the crash here. See, it's hitting almost exactly at the high point, cutting off at the 2K and 10K roughly. And then our snare has some high end, but it seems to be mostly down here right around the 200. It's actually 163, it looks like, would be where most of it's hitting at. So, what we're going to do is, now that we know that where each of these is hitting at strongest, okay, that was around 500, we can cut everything else out, because we don't need any extra stuff bleeding through off of these. This cuts it all by 10 dB, okay. And then it went to about 2.5K. We'll just kind of leave the rest alone, I think, on that. See, that alone, you can't see it right here, but this was on my master monitor. I was hitting at -10, now it's hitting at -10.5, so I've actually freed up another half a dB of headroom just by cutting out some frequencies that didn't need to be in there anymore. Okay? And we know that the snare is hitting right around that 200, 160 point, so we'll go ahead and cut out everything under there just in case there's anything that wasn't showing up on the analyzer. Alright. Up their head again, because now I'm at -13.1. Okay, so let's okay, so that's a bit too much of a boost. I went ahead and added in the 125 because I think that was cutting out something that needed to be in there. Why this has to be so huge? Okay, as you can see here, Alright, so we've cleaned it up. We've got the bottom end snapping through a little bit better. The clap, we've gotten rid of some of the low end that wasn't necessary. Alright, so then what we probably want to do is go ahead and bring this up to as close to -0 as we can. Okay, that's because this is something I would render out as a single sound, okay, to use in a track later. Alright, so probably I'd start by just going ahead and okay, so now we have a nice punchy, snappy, cracky snare sound that really is going to punch through anything we do. We can always tweak it again later, but this gives us a nice baseline sound to use, and that's as easy as it is, or as hard as it is. Personally, I recommend buying a collection of drum samples just so you can have completely professionally done drum samples to work off of. It's what I like to do, because while this on its own, you're going to end up with more unique sounds doing it this way. Sometimes, and in my case all the time, I just want to sit down and make a song. I don't want to spend 3 hours just trying to make drum sounds. Okay, that part of it doesn't interest me, so I prefer to buy professionally made drum sounds, and then I can roll from there. So, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. I'll see you later.